Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of A White Man Talks Racism with White America. Want to focus today on an issue that keeps coming up from a certain segment of the white population. It's not everybody, but there's definitely a pretty significant segment of the white population that, in the context or topic of racism, immediately brings up black on black crime. And specifically, they always drop in Chicago. Well, why doesn't the black community worry about black on black crime? What are they doing to reduce the killings of black people killing other people in Chicago? If you're a white person and that's like your default, please stop, please. A couple of things. Number one, do you know in fact what the black community is or isn't doing to combat black on black crime? I would bet that most of you who bring those up do not. You don't know what the activism is around the black on black crime, activism. You don't know anyone in Chicago that is or isn't advocating to clean up some of the problems that the city has. None of you, you probably don't know any of that, but yet you spout those quotes off as if that proves that, I don't know, there's no racism in America, or the problem isn't systemic racism that's been perpetuated by the white community forever. It's like the black people are their own problem. And that's just not true. So if you want to bring those statistics up, why don't you do yourself a favor and first look into a couple of things. Number one, how about look into the real issue of systemic racism and racial problems and killings? Let's start with the prison system. Why don't you look into the statistics around the number of black people in prison versus the number of white people in prison? If you want to go to a place that provides equity, look in drug use. So if you research drug use in America, you'll find that the white community and the black community both equally do drugs at about the same rate. So it's pretty close. Black and white people use drugs at about the same rate. Did you know that black males get arrested 16 times more often than white males for drug offenses? So how is it even statistically or theoretically or practically possible that if black and white men use drugs at about the same rate, black men get arrested at a rate of 16 times that of white men? It's statistically impossible. There's a bias in the police system, in the judicial system, and in the prison system. So why don't you look into things like justice bias? Why don't you look into things like, did you know that a white male in his lifetime has a 1 in 23 chance of being in prison? Did you know that a black male has a 1 in 4 chance of being in prison? How is that possible? If you look at the poverty levels, poverty drives drug use and crimes. If you look at what was creating the poverty that has existed for a long time, more so in the black community than in the white community, it was the systems that were set up to put the black community into a position of poverty. It was set up through voting access. It was set up through housing access. It was set up through prison and policing issues. There have been all kind of systemic things that have contributed to the situation we find ourselves in today, and in fact have been in since I'm 50 years old, well before I was born. So if you want to be a part of the solution, look into the problems that have created the problem of inequality for Black America. Don't look for the outlier statistic or that one thing that you can hang your flag on and say, see, white America, it's not our problem, it's Black America's problem. It's really just not. There's an entire systemic structure that was built to suppress access and success rates of Black Americans. It exists whether you want to admit it or not. I'm happy to help you research and find how the systems were built so that you can see that the systems still exist today. What I'd love if you're in the white American community is you actually take a little step back, look into some of the issues that are perpetuating systemic racism, and think about where you can help out. Because here's the good thing: at the end of the day, if Black America becomes gets equal access and equal opportunities, white America, it's good for everyone. The economy will flourish in a bigger way, communities will flourish in a bigger way, friendships will grow. There's no end to the number of benefits to having Black America experience equality with white America. The fact is, as a white American, you just have to pitch in and do your part to help unwind the systems in education and employment and in your communities, in your family, in the prison system, in the policing system, in the judicial system. We, as white America, have to pitch in and help unwind those systems if we're to create equality for Black America. And at the end of the day, shouldn't we all have the same opportunity and access to the things that America has afforded the white community forever? Shouldn't it just be, isn't it the right thing to do to give everyone equal, not better and not worse, but equal access to the dreams and vision and goals of America? I think it is. I hope you'll join me in working to unwind the problems of systemic racism. If nothing else, I'd love for you to keep popping back to hear what I have to say about what's going on and how we can fix it. Subscribe if you would. I'll be dropping videos on a regular basis, and more than anything, I hope this video reached somebody that needed to hear it today. I'll be talking to you again soon. Peace.